WebSockets, come here. Oh, you always have to be demanding with these WebSockets. They're pesky little devils, aren't they? Is it time for another talk yet? Yeah, I think it is. And if you think it is too, you're going to be pleased with this next one. Taken to the stage, next up for the 2021 CITYJS conference is ITALO from Sao Paulo in Brazil. ITALO is a solutions architect with Vortex, and in this talk, ITALO is going to be talking about WebSockets. More specifically, how do you keep one server serving many clients when AWS Lambdas are in the mix? Well, it turns out the answer is the AWS APIGateway, and in this talk, ITALO will be telling us a little bit more about that specific part of the AWS stack. If you have any questions for ITALO after this talk, please do keep them to yourselves until we reach the Q&A session where you will be able to put them to him. If you are watching along on YouTube, keep those comments coming in and your posts coming in on social media using the hashtag CITYJS2021. Without further ado, ITALO, it's my pleasure to hand the stage over to you.
Hello guys! So today we will talk about WebSockets and how we can scale up this on demand in AWS. So to start, who am I? Okay, so my name is ITALO. I'm Microsoft MVP in AI category. I organize the developer circles group here in São Paulo in Brazil. Okay, and today I'm a solution architect at Vortex. Okay, so what is WebSocket? WebSocket is a protocol that runs on TCP, okay? And it's a bidirectional connection between a client and a server. It's one unique connection between these two entities. So how it works? So what's the difference from this protocol for ATPP? HTTP. In HTTP REST API, when you need to give some notification from a client for the other's client, you can't do that because the HTTP server can't send message for the client. Just the client can send messages for the server, you know? And so how we can solve this problem? We can just do a pooling, you know, so the client will request so many times for notifications. So, hey server, you do have some message for me? No. Hey server, do you have some message for me? No, and no, and no. And in WebSockets, we have one unique connection that after it opened, you can, in the same connection, send a message from the server to the client and to the client for the server. And you work in this way in the client. When the client send a message for the server don't need to respond something, you know, like HTTP server. And when the server send a message for the client don't need to respond with something like HTTP servers, you know. So who's WebSockets? WebSockets is used so much in chat groups. So for example, if you using Slack or YouTube comments, something like this, it's probably you are using WebSocket. Collaboratory editing codes like Google Docs, for example, or location-based apps like Uber, you know, multiplayer games, they use so much WebSocket. And why don't use it for everything? So WebSocket is so awesome. You just have a unique connection and a bidirectional connection, and the server can send message for the client, and the client can send message for the server. Why we don't use it for everything? It's expensive. Okay, so at the left we have a HTTP server. So you send a request and it's got 100 megabytes. And after the server responded, this request is just fired and you have 0 megabyte are using in your server. So it's the same for all the others clients, all the others requests. But in the WebSocket, it's a persisted connection, you know? So when you got a connection from client one, you just allocate 100 megabytes. It's just for example, you know? You allocate some megabytes in your server. When other client make another connection, you allocate more memory in your server, you know. And when you have so much clients in your Unix server, you can't scale up it so much. So it's expensive and hard to scale up. So because this, we don't use WebSockets for everything. So and so if I can, why I can't scale up this? If my server gets full of memory, I just create another server, right? No. Uh, in HTTP servers, we have connections, and when the server gets full, we just open other servers, you know, and when these other servers get full, we open new servers and scale up it forever. And when these servers get down, the usage get down, we just delete the servers, okay? And oops, sorry, spoilers, and use this Unix server for all the clients again. But in WebSockets, we can do it, okay? In WebSockets, we have the client one connected in the server one, and client two connected in the server two, and the client three connected in the server three. So because this, we can't manage the connections between the servers, okay? Because you are connected in a specific server. So because this, it's hard to scale up, and it's a little bit expensive to maintain a WebSocket architecture, you know? Okay, so how we can solve it? Serverless architecture. Serverless architecture can help you to scale up a WebSocket application. And here we have an example how it works. We have a client, so much clients, okay? And we have the API gateway, and the API gateway will be the key, will be our saver, you know. So the API gateway can manage so much connections, okay? The API gateway from AWS, and you can just make a proxy for a Lambda when you receive some message in your WebSocket server. So you just have a Lambda for subscribing your connection in the database, okay? And when you just send a message for someone, imagine you are in a chat application, you send a message for some ID, I can get your message and verify everyone that is connected in my server and just send a message back for these clients. So for example, in a chat application, I can have a Lambda for subscribing in a room, for example, and I can have other Lambda to receive the message and broadcast this for all clients, you know. And others thing I can do it, I can do in this architecture is schedule message for send for all my clients. So I don't need to wait my clients send a message for me to send a message back for other clients. I can just have some schedule process that send message for all the clients that's connected in the server, you know. And how many simultaneous connection can I handle? So before I said I can't have so much connections in the same server, so I need more servers because this. But how simultaneous connection I can handle in Unix server using API gateway? It's infinite, you know, infinite. In the AWS documentation, if you search by API gateway and go to a WebSocket API session, the current in connection is not application. It's not applicable because the AWS don't, the idea of this product is the API gateway can handle infinite connections in the same WebSocket server, you know? So, so let's working with a demo, and I will ask for everybody enter in this link. I will share this link in the chat YouTube, okay? And this link is just a mouse position sharing. So if everyone enter in this link, we will can be the mouse position of everyone, okay? It will be super funny. And how it works in the code, okay? So I have here VS Code, and I have a front end and a back end. Let's start with the front end and see how we can connect in a server and maintain a stable connection for a long time. Okay, so it's just a React application. Okay, it's a super simple application, and we have here the app.js, and here we have some methods that is a class. Okay, and in my constructor I have some control variables. I just get some. I check if I'm connected. I got the position of all users. Okay, so I have here some informations about me. So the position of my mouse and my color and my unique name. Okay, and here I just have a bind for a mouse move. So when I move my mouse, I will do something. Okay, I will share this mouse position with my server, and my server will share this position with all users connected in the WebSocket server. Okay, so and after this, I just open my connection, and here I open my connection with my WebSocket client. Here I'm using the socket library. Okay, it's you if you want, you can use CITYJS2021 or some other library that you want. And here I just put my link, okay, my WebSocket link, and notice here I'm not working with HTTP, okay, I'm working with WebSocket protocol. So and here when my connection is opened, okay, I will call the method open. Okay, so when I receive a message, I will call the method receive message. And here when I receive a message from the server, I just will get the XY from the other mouse user. Okay, get the author and the color, and I will just draw this in my canvas. Okay, so and when I move my mouse, I just will check if I'm connected. Okay, and if I connected, I will send a message from a server. And in my server, we will see in some minutes, and my server will do a broadcast for all the users connected here. Okay, so here I just send an action. Okay, I send my data X and Y, and I send my username and my color. Okay, so and I update my mouse position. So in the server, how it works? Okay, here in backend, I have a simple application. It's a simple Lambda. You know, I'm working with serverless. So here we have some configuration of my Lambda. I'm using the AWS as a provider. Okay, I'm using Node, and I have some functions here. Okay, I have three functions. A function for connection. Okay, and this it's just connect, get my connection ID, and start this in the database. And it can be accessed by two events. Okay, so in the connect event and in the connected event. Okay, I have a default message. Default message is for all actions, all events that is not listed here. Okay, so for example, connect and disconnect is some actions, and if you send some connection about other thing, you will got the full message. Okay, and the send message will be handled by event send message. Okay, and it will be accessed by WebSocket. So and we have other resource here, that is the DynamDB to store my connections ID. So here in handle, we have all our lambdas. Okay, so we have here three functions, and these functions is the same functions that I specified in my serverless file. So here I have a connection, and when I receive a connection by API gateway, I just check if my event type is from connect, and or if disconnect. If connect, I just create your connection in the database. Okay, so I just get your connection ID, and if I receive a disconnect event, I just remove your connection ID from database. Okay, and when you send a message for me, I just get all connections, okay, in the database. So I iterate by all these connections, and I do two things. Um I get I get my API gateway management API, okay, because I need to create an endpoint to send a message for this API gateway, and I send it for API gateway. And the API gateway, we are connected here by a WebSocket connection. So on the API gateway, you will get the work to send this message for the client. Okay, and here I just send my connection ID, okay, and my data. So if I can't send this for my client because my client is connected, or the internet of my client is get down, something like this, I just remove this connection from database, you know. And uh, if my user don't send message action or our connection message actions like connect or disconnect, I just respond with the full message, you know. And the full message is just a callback. And we have another files here that is like the database and config.js. You can check this in the GitHub, but it's just a simple connection with the database, you know. And the config file is just a config file for access my Dynamo, my AWS SDK, my API gateway, and something like this. Okay, so and with this we can have real-time application between many users. Okay, and we can scale up it for infinity because the API gateway can will handle it for us. And if we access the API gateway in AWS, we will see this visualization. You know, this is our demo application. So here I have three routes, and this route is a WebSocket route. So it must to be accessed by an event. So, and when you access the connect event, you will access the route request and will be in the API gateway will do a proxy for our Lambda, you know, and it's the same for send message and disconnect and default. Okay, and something that can be a little bit confused is the event or actions or something like this or routes. That is, it's not a pattern, you know. Something in some locals you will see the road, and other place you see an action, okay, like this, and oh sorry, like this, okay, but it's everything the same thing. So someone's already here. Okay, so I can see the mouse position of other users here, And let me do a zoom. So if someone move this mouse, move your mouse, I will can see your position moving here too. And is this for today? Thank you very much. If someone can get some question or something like this, we can um, open for questions.
Italo, thank you very much for that amazing talk. I have a sneaky suspicion that you have demystified AWS Lambdas, Node.js, and WebSockets for our audience, and we will be seeing the three of those living together in harmony for quite some time now. Please join me in giving Italo a huge, around the world round of applause. If you have any questions for Italo based off of that talk, please do head on over to GatherTown now, where our Q&A session will be starting in any moment now. If you're not on GatherTown, head on over to social media, use the hashtag CITYJS2021, and we will see your tweets and posts, and we would love to know what you thought about that. Don't forget to post along on YouTube as well. Italo, what a fantastic talk. Thank you very much. It is almost as fantastic as your moustache. Please tell us how you managed to have such a immensely awesome moustache.
Oh, thank you very much.
Is there a secret? Do you have some special wax for the ends, or?
Oh no, this was a mistake. I was fixing my beard, so I just opened a hole here, and I just need to make magic, you know.
Yeah.
So I just create this mustache.
I mean, it's very impressive. I think you've done well out of a bad job there, I will admit. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So that was a fantastic talk about WebSockets. And I'm going to be honest, WebSockets are not necessarily something that I've had much chance to play around with, but they seem super useful after watching your talk. What I'm kind of interested to know from you is, are there any use cases when WebSockets are not the right tool for us to reach to, when we should be reaching for something more traditional? Perhaps?
Okay. It's an awesome question, and you can respond this question with another question. So when you start your application, you just can ask you by your application need a real-time feature. So if you need a real-time feature, you need WebSockets.
Okay.
So if you like, for example, if you are working in a chat, you need your chat to be real time. So if you are working with traditional HTTP requests, you will got a little bit of latence between a message and other message, you know. Or for example, if you need to notify your users, the problem you have here is the server must notify the clients. So in these situations, when you have the server to communicate the clients and not the clients communicate the server, you can use WebSockets too. But if you don't have these problems, for example, the real time or the server communicating the client, I believe the WebSocket is not a good choice. WebSocket is awesome. It's awesome, but it's a little bit expensive. And because this, you need to use this when you really need, you know?
So you just said they're expensive. What do you mean by that?
Okay, it's expensive because a server can handle a finite connections. And in the HTTP connection, you send a request, and this request has a cycle to finish. You send a request, it's processed, and it's finished. If you have an application that has 1 million of users, you don't will have 1 million connection at the same time. You will have I don't know some thousands of connections at the same time, and in a 1 second timeline, you will got 1 million connections, you know?
Yep.
And the difference in the situation of using an HTTP server for the WebSocket is in the WebSocket, you will have 1 million of connections, of active connections in your server at same time for 1, 2, 3 seconds, 1 minute. So imagine how much servers you need to have to maintain 1 million to 10 millions of connections at the same time, you know? And because this is can be expensive. And another problem, for some companies, money is not a problem, okay? But we have a technical problem here that is when you have so much connections in the same server, you need more servers. And when you need more servers, you need to scale up and scale down the servers. Sometimes you need more servers, sometimes you need less servers. And when you have a client connected in one server, you can't get down this server because this connection is open. If you get down the server, your connection will close it too. So
Okay.
if you are playing a game, you don't you don't you can't get down your server. If you need to get down the server, the WebSockets don't care. You can't do it because your connection will be closed. Okay,
Okay.
and so to solve it, we use it today the API gateway that is AWS services. And the idea of the API gateway is to abstract this part of scale WebSocket connection, and just got connections and more connections. I searched a lot, but I believe it's a secret. It's a company secret. But it's the AWS just scale up the servers, these WebSocket servers using Magic, you know? Um, so we have a problem of the money with WebSocket. So when you solve it, we have the scale up, the technical problem that is scale up a WebSocket connection.
Mm-hmm.
And to solve it, we can use just API gateway that is not so much expensive, like and manage all the servers. And it's we don't will have problem to scale up for infinity using WebSocket, you know?
Okay. That was very well answered, by the way. Very, very well answered. So we've had a couple of nice comments come in. One from Lucas saying, "Congratulations, Italo. Really nice talk." And
Oh,
another one
very much.
from
Okay.
Adler. I'm not going to try and pronounce the rest of your name, Adler, but one from Adler saying, "Parabens, Italo."
Parabéns is like awesome, good job, you know, congratulations.
Well, congratulations then. In yeah. But we have had a question come through from Pedro, and Pedro also said, "Congratulations for the talk. It's not that easy to speak English for a conference." That wasn't his question
Thank you very
though.
much.
So Pedro would like to know which is the best way to create APIs with WebSockets, since using lambdas are not that cool. We have to handle the AWS interface, and it's not very beginner friendly. So I think the underlying question there is, can you do it without the complexity of the
Okay,
AWS?
okay. Yeah, you have so much options to create an API using WebSocket. Uh, for example, I use it here, a Lambda, but you can use an API using Express, for example, and just connect the API gateway just make the proxy of API gateway to your application, because the WebSocket connection here is not connected in your application, but it's connected in the API gateway. You just matter about the API gateway. If your client is connected in the API gateway, after API gateway, you can use a Lambda, You can use just a common HTTP server. You can use what you want, because and because this you need to manage all connections in some database. For example, I use the DynamoDB, but you can use Mongo, you can use MySQL, because when your API, your service, your not Lambda service uh, process this connection, you need to send a message for API gateway and say for API gateway, hey API gateway, send a message for this ID, the ID you got in the database. So the connection between the client is connected between the client and your application is in the API gateway. The API gateway contain the connection. So the API gateway will got the ID that you inform it, and will send your message for this connection ID, and the client will receive it in some event, as you saw in the talk.
Very succinctly answered. I'm just going to kind of do a follow-up question there. Pedro said that lambdas are not cool. Is that true? Because I
I
thought
believe
they were.
I I'm not sure. It depends of your context. If your application can't use Lambda, okay, it's not cool for your application, But have some applications that is cool use to Lambda. For example, if you need create a chat app, for example, and you don't have money for pay for a server, you can just see the Lambda free tier. The Lambda free tier is awesome. You have 1 million of requests for free, you know and I believe it depends of your context. And the awesome here is the Lambda part. It can be you can just change the Lambda part for other application. You just need to get the API connection, the API gateway connection with your client. I believe after that, you can use what you want. If you don't like Lambda for some reason, okay, it's okay. You can use other technology in the background.
I'm going to say no, it's not okay. Use lambdas. So we're fast approaching all we've got time for, but I've got one last rapid fire question for you. Tabs or spaces?
Oh, for me, just use tabs, because when you delete it, you delete so much characters once. If you use space, you need to delete sometimes. But I don't care so much about this. For me, the important is use the same pattern in all the project.
Yes.
I don't care about your pattern. Just use this pattern in all the project. I believe it will have the same impact.
Cool. And if you've yet to pick your pattern, choose spaces. And on that, we will say thank you very much, Italo. That was an amazing talk and a really insightful Q&A as well. I think I learned quite a lot there. Hopefully the people watching along did it too. If you are watching this in Gathertown, please do, in our surprise break that we're just about to throw your way, head over and see some of the sponsor booths. There are some amazing competitions out there for you to win. I think off the top of my head, you can win a home cinema system. I think there's some subscriptions to some wicked tools that you can get, as well as a whole host of other things. And all you need to do is go have a wander and visit those sponsor booths, and you'll be able to be in with a chance to win. Your chances will be quite high if you go and put yourself into them. Italo, once again, thank you very much for an amazing talk. It was brilliant to chat with you again. Hopefully, we'll see you in person for the September event when we all head back to London. Fingers crossed.
Oh, sure.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Thank you. See you again.